I've not talked about yet, and it's this. Oh, what's happening here? 4 of your colonists have gone sick from fibrous mechanites. 4 of them. Okay. What? Well, that is very not good. Alright, hello YouTube, and today I'll be playing Rimworld, and this is a story generator which you can read right here. And there's different scenarios that you can start off with, but the standard scenario starts you off with 3 colonists which crash land on the planet, and you're assigning different roles to these 3 different colonists, and each colonist or pawn will have different roles and things that they're suited for, so it's kind of your job to sort of make sure that they survive and they are suited for what they're doing. So there's two expansions for this game, or DLC. There's the Royalty DLC and there's the Ideology DLC. The Royalty DLC, basically you're trying to develop psychic powers, and it adds a whole other faction to the game where gaining favor with them will help improve your psychic abilities more, and ideology will add different beliefs into the game, and so it allows you to sort of play the game and have like an overall general role of what they are. So like you can have like a colonist. You can have like a colony of raiders, or you could have like a colony of triads, and so on and so forth. So I don't have the DLCs installed, but I just have the base game for right now. The base game by itself is more than enough to warrant at least like 100 hours of playtime, if not way more than that. I do have one mod installed, but it doesn't really matter. I have this multiplayer mod installed, which lets me just manage a colony with another friend. The workshop process is very simple. You just download the mod you want, and it's all in the list there. Here's the options menu, so here's everything that you can change. Not too many graphics options here, but you don't really need it. It's a very simplistic looking game. Yep. So let's start up the game. Actually, I'll show you what creating a new colony is like. So you have a ton of different scenarios here. So you have crash landed, you have lost tribe, rich explorer, and naked brutality. So this is the standard one that you normally. I'm assuming that people normally play with. It starts with 3 people, and your technology is fairly moderate. 5 people, but the technology is pretty poor, and 1 colonist, but technology is pretty high. You can edit the scenario, so here's everything that you can edit. There it is. And here's the different storytellers. So it basically, what this will change is it'll change the frequency of the different events of the game. So Cassandra Classic will sort of try to escalate things. So she will look at the colony wealth and then decide from there how best to proceed with the game. So if you have very high wealth, she will appropriately send enemies that will be enough of a challenge for you. Phoebe Chillax will give you a lot more time between disasters, and Randy Random is just completely random. And you can change this by going to custom. You can change everything here, so there's a lot you can change. Also different general difficulty settings here, so I think what I picked was Adventure Story. And so there's different modes you can pick. So I picked Commitment mode. Yeah. So you can actually just read that, and that's. I'm pretty sure this is kind of like how the game was meant to be played. So, Rimworld is a story generator. Even losing all but one person is not the end of the game. So, it's not a losing condition to have one of your colonists die. It's a story generator, right? So you basically have to assume that like some colonists in your colony are eventually going to die. Sometimes the game puts you into very difficult scenarios. Right, so I'll load that up into my game. Alright, so here's my colony, and aesthetically it doesn't look great, but it does the job. I probably didn't need to have all of these houses or bedrooms like separate like this. I could have just had like one huge like apartment complex, but oh well. You can see one of my pawns coming up here, just cremating corpse after corpse because I didn't build graves, and I built this crematorium pretty late into the game, so I have a ton of corpses left I have to clean up. Yeah, the whole reason why like I put the corpses over here is because, and I've walled it off, so it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Because if a colonist sees these corpses, they will have a pretty big negative impact on their mood, unless they have different traits in which they, in which case it doesn't matter. I'm not sure what the trait is called, but there's a trait which lets the colonist not get any sort of mood debuff from seeing the corpses. And how the whole mood system works is that you see here Marissa is happy. The whole reason kind of why you would want to have them as high as possible is because the game will generate different like temporary traits depending on your mood. So you can have inspired creativity, for example, or you can have or the pawn can be good at shooting for a particular time. Right, and so you can see she's healthy, so you can go to the health tab, and yeah, everything's fine. You have all of these different things, right? So 100% manipulation, talking, eating, sight, hearing, everything like that. You can restrict them to different foods. You can see their age. You can have them self-tend as well. You have to log the details, everything that happens. So we can see fights between different factions. Yeah. So here's where I just killed a ton of squirrels. Yeah, Marissa tentatively shot at the squirrel with her revolver. First is the Red Soldiers. And also have colony versus colony fights, so you can have different colonists in your colony fight each other. Yeah, I had an event in the game where a ship actually dropped down. Ship dropped down like up here, and it was negatively impacting the male colonist's mood, so I had to destroy that. So that's probably what you see here. You have gear, so a very important thing to look at is the temperature range. So I'm playing at a part of the map which is very, like, this is a very typical part of the map. What I mean by that is that you have all four seasons, so I have to worry about winter. So this is very important to look at when it comes to that. So I have toque, parka, pants, so on. I have the social tab here, so I can look at everything I can look at all of the different relationships of that colonist. Even have like, so you have ex-lover here, Jack Coogan. I don't want to pronounce that. And they are part of a different faction. And so there's different factions in the game. So I can click here and you can look at all the different factions. So there's some factions in which you can make peace with. So the kinship of Kroika is one faction, but two factions here you can't do anything with. So you have the Bango Union and you have the Red Soldiers. And so that's the social, so you have the bio tab, and you have a ton of different skills in the game. So shooting, melee, that's, I'm assuming that's fairly obvious. Construction, so that affects your ability to construct different buildings, and it also affects your ability to construct roads, other things like that. With mining, you know, it's pretty obvious. It lets you mine faster. Cooking helps you cook the foods here. So I have someone basically like permanently cooking food for the colony, and that person is Jack actually. And you can see here. Actually, I should talk about this before I talk about that. You have like the small flame here, which indicates that they are passionate in that skill. And you have the two bigger flames here, which means they're very passionate about that particular skill. And these skills all go up to 20. So the skills here you see with 1s, 2s, 3s, it means they're very weak in that skill. Look at someone like Marissa, and you look at someone like Jack, right? See that Jack is overall more passionate in more things than Marissa is. You can also see like some of the skills are nearly maxed out, like for shooting. So the game describes it as a regional master. So that's pretty good to keep on track with. See everything else here. So I have Jack basically cooking food that is being grown here from this field. And the reason why is because he has 2 flames of cooking and he is 15. So you kind of want to schedule people based off of what they're good at and off of what you need at the time. We can look at needs here, and you can see all the needs are being met, all the needs that are not being met. So he's wearing marine armor, which he has gotten from this area here. He actually took, he killed someone with the marine armor, and he's wearing it now, which means he has a -5 to move penalty. I don't think I mentioned this. If your move gets too low, they start acting out. You can't control them, and the effects will vary depending on, I guess, random chance and on who the colonist is. So if you have someone with the pyromaniac trait, then they will like set stuff on fire if their mood gets too low. So you have to kind of be wary of that. What just happened here is a random event in the game. So this happens periodically. So every male colonist smiles with contentment. So basically, these male colonists will now get a mood bonus. Well, this colonist won't because of his trait. He is psychically deaf, so stuff like that doesn't affect him. Let's see. So for Jay here, yep, psychic suit. So he gets a +16 bonus to his mood. So that's pretty convenient. You can also have this health tab here. Yep. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Alright. There's a whole let's see if I can bring this up. Yeah, the recreation fully satisfied. So I built the rec room here. I've not talked about it yet, and it's this oh, what's happening here? 4 of your colonists have gone sick from fibrous mechanites. 4 of them. Okay. What? Well, that is very not good. So I'm gonna have to. All right. Well, Libby's already in bed. Who infected? Yeah. Yeah. So this fibrous mechanites thing here, it's increasing their moving, their manipulation, and their blood pumping. But I do not want this to progress any further than it has to. So I'm gonna have Jay here, who is my medical colonist here, try to tend himself. Also, yeah, Leona is affected by it as well, so I'm gonna have Jay here queue up to cure Leona here. Also, Lebe here. You can have him go to Lebe. Yeah, that's pretty bad actually. Alright, Orabo here, which is she fell unconscious somewhere. She's probably gonna die soon. I'm gonna have Jay go to her. Yeah. Orabo here, like sometimes just like falls into unconsciousness because I mean, she got shot in the head with an arrow. She isn't really doing too well. Alright, so that should be taken care of now. Anything else I want to say? You can have different raids happen on your colony. So you can have different raiders like just come in and try to attack your colony. You have different schedules you can set up. So you can set up work schedules, you can set up recreation schedules, you can set up sleep schedules. And Levy and Sadago here, I have them on opposite schedules because they are night owls and they like that. Also set up different areas here. So I have an area called Don't Die to Guinea Pigs and Don't Die. So basically, the whole reason why this area exists is because there was nuclear fallout, and I had to build up a roof around all of my entire colony here. So that's why I have that, and I have area 1. You can assign different things that they should avoid. So you can set up food restrictions here. You can set up drug policies here. Look at different animals. You can look at wildlife. Here's the research tab, quests. Here's the entire world of the game. So I'm situated in a pretty good location next to a potential ally. You have different quests that show up, but I haven't really done any yet. They're probably pretty worth it. I don't want to risk any one of my colonists really dying. So there's that. Let's go back here. Look at history. You can look at different stats. Look at the different graph. You can look at wealth. Look at messages, statistics. So my playtime. You can look at that. I'm not lying. Look at the different colony wealths. You have 22 enemy raids so far, 35 major threats. Still haven't had any main colonists die yet, so that's a pretty good plus. Alright. I think that just about covers it. There's definitely more that I'm not saying here, but I hope that gives you a good general overview of what to expect. And if you like what you see, definitely I'd recommend picking the game up. I've been having a lot of fun with it. And so without further ado, I'll see you next time.